Shihao just spent 10 days letting himself be destroyed and rebuilt inside a prison designed to kill him, and instead of breaking him, it turned him into something the entire foreign realm is now terrified of. Perfect World episode 279 is one of those episodes where the story takes something meant to be punishment and flips it into an origin point for real power. Let's get into it. Quick reminder of where we are. Shihao is locked away in the Blackwater Heavenly Prison, deep in enemy territory in the foreign realm, chained up as a captive rather than a fighter. This prison isn't just a cell. It's built around a corrosive black liquid that continuously eats away at anyone held inside, and it's clearly meant to slowly destroy whoever's trapped there. For most cultivators, that would be a death sentence. For Shihao, it becomes something else entirely. With his cultivation temporarily restrained but not fully suppressed, he starts using the prison's own weapon against itself. Over and over, he lets the black liquid dissolve his flesh, then rebuilds his body with raw divine power. 10 straight days of collapsing unconscious, waking back up, and doing it again. Each cycle leaves him stronger than before, and by the end of it, his body has adapted to the point where the corrosion that's supposed to be killing him barely slows him down anymore. Even the wardens running the prison are unsettled watching this happen. What they built to break him has turned into the most brutal training method imaginable, and is the only one benefiting from it. Worried he might die on their watch before anyone important decides his fate, the wardens eventually pull him out and chain him up publicly at the city gate, putting him on display for humiliation. Crowds gather to curse him, throw things at him, and mock him as a prisoner from what they consider an inferior world. And Shihao's response is to stay completely calm and mock them right back, openly declaring that it wouldn't matter if they sent their strongest fighters one at a time or all together. He'd wipe them out regardless. That kind of defiance while literally hanging in chains is exactly the sort of moment that ends up defining a character, and it does exactly what you'd expect. It enrages the entire city and set the rest of the episode in motion. What follows is basically a string of one-sided victories. Once the pressure from the gathering clans forces the wardens to let him fight, Shihao goes through opponent after opponent without slowing down, including a veteran expert who ends up having his physical body destroyed outright, barely escaping with his spirit intact. By the time he's worked through 18 royal clan kings along with a wave of other elite fighters, the entire foreign realm is stunned. A chained prisoner is dismantling their best without any of them landing a real answer, and it gets to the point where people start seriously discussing whether they need to bring in someone at a supreme being level just to deal with him, which would be its own kind of humiliating admission. The wardens don't stop trying to control the narrative, though. Behind the scenes, they are sabotaging him, secretly injuring his origin before fights and rigging outcomes when he's winning too cleanly, all while publicly pretending the matches are fair. Shihao knows exactly what's happening and calls him out for it directly, which only pushes him to silence him further so the truth doesn't spread. Even under those conditions, he keeps winning, including a brutal exchange against a Golden Sheep Clan genius where his innate reincarnation overwhelms his opponent so completely that the enemy visibly ages and drains away before the wardens interfere again and blow the fight up entirely, nearly killing Shihao in the process. And even that doesn't finish him. His body regenerates in front of everyone, which only adds to the sense that this is someone operating on a completely different level of durability than anyone expected. That escalating spectacle is what finally pulls in the real thread of the episode, the Imperial Clan geniuses. Leading them is Hemming, tied to a legendary bloodline and considered one of the strongest young experts in the entire foreign realm, and alongside him are several other Imperial Clan prodigies radiating serious power. Among them is a young woman Shihao recognizes on sight, someone connected to people he already knows from his own world, which adds a layer of personal history to what's otherwise shaping up as a pure power confrontation. She ends up declining to fight, and so does a massive second prodigy who admits he hasn't fully mastered his own new strength yet. That leaves the third one, Yu, who steps up with nothing but contempt for Shihao, dismissing him as beneath serious competition and mocking the entire world he comes from. It's the kind of arrogance that's clearly meant to get under Shihao's skin, and it works. What started as composed defiance turns into real anger, and the episode ends right as that fight begins, framed as a true confrontation the whole episode has been building toward. This is a strong setup episode because it does two things at once. It shows exactly how far Shihao's body and willpower have been pushed under conditions meant to break him, and it sets up a genuine test against an opponent who isn't just strong, but actively contemptuous of everything Shihao represents. That combination usually means the next fight is going to matter a lot more than a typical arena bout. If you want a full breakdown of who Yu Yu actually is, or what that reincarnation arc can really do at full strength, let me know in the comments and I'll cover it in the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss the fallout from this fight, and I'll see you in the next one.